Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm doing Wolfgang's free time events. Yay! So let's go into the video. Funny seeing you here, Damon. Is there something you'd like to tell me? This guy was already annoying me, but chat with him. If I spend a little time with him, he might feel less inclined to make the others suspicious of me. There's nothing I want to talk about, I just felt like coming here.
Curious.
In that case, let's discuss Miss Madison.
Eh?
Why her? I would like to know your thoughts on her.
That...
Alright? Wolfgang treated me to an in-depth discussion about the golfer woman. Woo, he had a lot to say, that's for sure. Would you like to give Wolfgang a present? Yes.
Very nice.
Now, this is something extraordinary. Thank you, Damon, for everything you do. Wolfgang loved your present.
Curious.
Damon, I have a question for you.
Hello?
What is it?
Let's see.
I'm curious to know how each ultimate earned their talent. Perhaps there's an underlying thread between all of us.
Seriously?
This is how you're spending your free time? Well, I don't have any better ideas, do you? About what I expected.
In any case...
So, what is the origin story of the ultimate debater? There was a debate club at my high school. I joined when I was a freshman, and the rest is history.
Interesting indeed.
Fascinating. Truly fascinating. I couldn't imagine a more ordinary backstory for an ultimate. Is he making fun of me?
That's not it.
Don't underestimate the process, it wasn't easy. I didn't enter my first comp as a bona fide professional. There was a lot I had to learn.
Hold on.
I never said you didn't struggle. Most ultimates just have very unorthodox beginnings. Does that include you too? Of course it does, why wouldn't it? Then he was making fun of me. I've always been drawn to law and order, ever since I was a child. Courtroom footage fascinated me, the cases I heard through word of mouth even more so. It felt like witnessing, or listening to, some grand story. Who gossips with a little kid about court cases?
Very nice.
And in every trial, few commanded the courtroom like the barrister. Well, second only to the judge.
No matter.
Even then, the judge was merely a minor character, pitching in only when absolutely necessary. That minor character is also the one delivering the final verdict.
By the way...
Naturally, I dreamed of becoming a defense lawyer. But even at my young age, I knew the road ahead was no walk in the park, as is the case for all competitive fields of study.
You think?
You say that, but considering your age now, it must not have been very rocky either.
Aha.
True, my time at school felt very short-lived, with being transferred to a higher year level and all. I didn't even hit puberty until my first year in law school, though I was a late bloomer. So he finally admitted it, he did start college as a teenager. It wasn't a surprise, his report card basically confirmed it, but damn if it didn't piss me off.
Anyway.
So how did it go, being the youngest student, I mean?
Let's see...
Not bad, everyone treated me very nicely. I might have ruined some people's self-esteem, though. No kidding. I've certainly been dealt a good hand in life, haven't I? Early exposure, unparalleled academic prowess, and most importantly, a vested interest in the subject.
Interesting indeed.
It appears fate decided I would become the ultimate lawyer.
Really?
You don't really believe that, do you? Maybe, maybe not. My track record speaks for itself either way. That being,
Very well.
200 successful cases.
That's
What? 200?
curious.
Before becoming a lawyer, I did spend 1 year as a legal assistant. Maybe that's what gave me the edge. Or maybe I simply entered the field as a bona fide professional. I wonder which it is. He was obviously playing coy, but that's not what annoyed me most. What really annoyed me was how impressed I felt. My ultimate talent outshone most others, I knew that for sure, but could it compare to his? From a young age, Wolfgang dreamt of becoming a defense lawyer. He skipped most of school and began studying law when he was only a teenager.
Pardon me.
Say, Damon, have you, by chance, taken a liking to any of our peers? Quite a few are around your age.
Seriously?
We're in a killing game, romance hasn't been on my mind. But I could have sworn you were sneaking glances at a few students the other day.
Seriously?
What are you, a little kid? Don't make stuff up. Hit a sore spot, did I? Damn it, this guy. It took more time than I was willing to admit, but I eventually steered Wolfgang off the subject. He was good with words, I'll give him that. Would you like to give Wolfgang a present? Yes.
Very nice.
Now, this is something extraordinary. Thank you, Damon, for everything you do. Wolfgang loved your present.
Interesting indeed.
Another day, another ponderation.
Come again?
Is that even a word? Of course, though I don't blame you for not knowing.
By the way...
I'm still investigating the other students and asking them about their talents.
Right.
Any luck with that? Our peers have been sharing some wonderful stories. It gets a bit exhausting though, listening to some of them talk. So I'm currently taking a break.
That's...
When do you plan to leave? In a little bit. Why?
It's simple.
I want to ask you something. Is that so?
I understand.
Very understandable. It would help to have myself investigated too. Sure.
Anyway.
What's your favorite court case? My favorite court case?
Unfortunately.
I don't know.
Seriously?
Are you serious?
I'm sure.
Out of countless court cases, how is it possible that I can only pick one? As my mother would say, we are only human after all. The very idea of favorites can stump even the smartest individuals. Really? While I've scrubbed most debates from memory, the more interesting ones always manage to stick.
This is difficult.
Also, lawyer work is a repetitive process. Cases start to blend together as time goes on. Every day I have to read dozens, if not hundreds, of documents, hoping to find the one detail I can exploit. A logical inconsistency, a missing piece of information, or just something unsavory about the prosecution.
I see.
And after you find that one detail, I'm guessing you run with it? Yes, those are special days. I get to prove my worth, not only by saving my client, but also showcasing my life's work. And in doing so, I am able to uphold the Akre name. You have a family in the profession?
Let's see.
Just one. A very prolific defense lawyer with an unwavering resolve. My mother. Huh? Was that why he's been exposed to court cases so early? Not only did she win most of her cases, she drew a lot of attention due to her unorthodox handling of her clients.
By the way...
That being, she only represented women and children.
That's...
Sounds pretty counterintuitive from a business standpoint.
No matter.
For my mother, values were more important than monetary gain. Although, payment isn't an issue if you work smart. I know that from experience.
Huh?
Do you also only accept certain clients? Yes.
Trust in the process.
I only represent clients I trust are innocent. Eh? Was this guy saying he accepted cases based on simple gut feeling? Ah, I forgot. This was only meant to be a break, wasn't it?
Many thanks.
Best I be on my way now. See you. His mom was strict about who she represented, but at least her point of reference was something tangible. Gut feeling, though? That's way too dubious to reject a client over. Did Wolfgang mean to say he accepted cases where evidence pointed in the client's favor? Surely he'd still be riding on a few assumptions, though. I don't get it. How did a naive guy like him win over 200 cases? Before there was Wolfgang, there was his mom, a highly successful defense lawyer. Like her, Wolfgang is very particular about his clients. In his case, only accepting those he thinks are innocent. I just noticed, why is he like peeking out over here? Like, okay.
It's for the best.
Cassidy has the correct idea. We must remain united during the killing game. A game tournament is one way to go about it.
Curious.
Damon, is there any reason you're here? I just happened to wander over. I see.
Pardon me.
May we have a quick chat? A quick chat? Yes.
Okay.
Fine.
Let's see.
Wolfgang spent the next few minutes asking me if I was good at video games. That's definitely not where I expected the conversation to go. Would you like to give Wolfgang a present? Yes. I must admit, I did not anticipate such a nice present. Have you perhaps come around since our last talk? Don't look at me like that. Wolfgang liked your present. If only there were fewer hours in a day. Maybe then, our time here would pass more quickly. Wolfgang looked pretty down in the dumps. Even the most optimistic people have their off days, I guess. It's funny, when I was studying law, I wanted the opposite. Longer days so I could make time for extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
A kid in college wouldn't have many opportunities to relax. The struggles of academic excellence, I've never dwelled on the past as much as I do now, in this uncomfortable present. Something's been tugging at me for a while, long before the two of us even began hanging out. A growing confusion that was exacerbated each time we spoke.
Hi.
Wolfgang, things aren't adding up.
Ah.
Excuse me? If you really have the track record you say you do, then I need to know. Are you as sensitive on the job as you are around your classmates? I'm afraid I don't understand.
Take this seriously.
Well, have you ever yelled at the judge to shut up or cried in the face of the plaintiff? Do you command the courtroom like the class trial? Because that would be pretty unprofessional for a lawyer.
Could you explain?
Unprofessional, yet you still told the class trial to trust my lawyer's judgment?
I know.
Only as a means to an end.
Anyways.
That was a while ago anyway.
Let's see.
I see, weaponizing my feelings in order to skew the debate. You pursued a truth you did not believe. That's really no different to telling a lie.
Hey.
Who are you to talk? Isn't lying just second nature to lawyers?
Hold on.
That's wrong. I only speak the truth.
You think?
Across 200 cases, every client was innocent. Am I really supposed to believe that?
No matter.
Even if it sounds unbelievable, the law says as much. So does the UTP. Why would I be the ultimate lawyer if I couldn't prove my client's innocence?
That's not it.
That's not my point. I'm saying there's no way you were always in the right.
Nonsense.
Then you're forgetting a crucial detail. I only accept certain clients.
Right.
Clients you trust to be innocent. Isn't mixing personal beliefs with the case antithetical to being a lawyer? I thought you're supposed to accept cases regardless of moral standing.
Trust in the process.
It's true lawyers must build walls around their hearts, but human hands cannot create flawless things. Walls crack and degrade, and time will eventually expose a gap for the lawyer's conscience to escape.
Jeez.
Sure, but most lawyers try not to let their conscience control them. Which brings me back to what I was asking earlier.
It's simple.
Well, what's your answer? Do you act the same in the courtroom as you do in the class trial? It's a simple yes or no question.
I must decline.
No, I don't.
I see.
Huh. Why is that? You're basically speaking in front of a jury either way, aren't you? Is there something about your classmates that's different?
Please don't.
You're putting words in my mouth. How I've acted has nothing to do with the people around me. I simply can't always be the man I am in the courtroom. Not now, not while in the killing game. If I were to say that same thing, I'd be lambasted on the spot. Why does Wolfgang hold himself to such different standards? Has it not occurred to him how unfair that is to me? Or maybe it has, and he just doesn't care. Wolfgang admits he can't be the man he is in the courtroom, though he doesn't seem very sorry about the fact. Why is he never this lenient towards me?
Hello.
Damon. No, Eva, I see.
Seriously?
I'm not glued to her hip.
Hmm?
Of course. Was that sarcasm? This guy. Is it worth continuing conversation with him? I guess. Considering the topic of conversation, walking away would just look suspicious. And right now, I'm not in the mood for another scolding. Wolfgang and I stood next to each other in an awkward silence. Maybe I should have walked away. Would you like to give Wolfgang a present? Yes. I must admit, I did not anticipate such a nice present. Have you perhaps come around since our last talk? Don't look at me like that. Wolfgang liked your present. Damon, there's another question I would like to ask you.
What now?
What is it now?
Let's see.
It's nothing to do with ultimate research, just my own curiosity. You see, we've already discussed when you began debating, but I still have no idea why. As in why I joined the debate club?
Well put.
Yes, what compelled you down that path? Haven't I already given an answer?
It's simple.
Debate is valuable. It lets me discuss things which are meaningful to society. I said this ages ago, after the mock trial. So you did.
Curious.
How strange. You only discuss debating as it relates to broader society, never as it relates to you as an individual.
That's wrong.
Not every reason needs to be personal. I debate because I can argue politics and ethics. What about that is hard to understand?
In any case,
Then, let me ask a different question. You clearly value your talent because of its worth to society, but why is that particular aspect so important to you? Does it really need an explanation?
very well.
Well, I can certainly provide one.
Eh?
I think the reason you chose to debate isn't because of the subject matter,
This is difficult.
but because it elevates your voice above everyone else's. The hell? Who did he think he was? Of course I debate for the subject matter. If debate didn't instigate discussions that were valuable to society, I wouldn't be pursuing it. No need to glare, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Are you trying to undermine me on purpose? Don't forget you studied law because of some random courtroom recordings.
Hold on.
You must understand, those recordings were not why I wanted to become a lawyer. Rather, they were a subset of the actual reason. Alright then, in that case, if it wasn't the recordings, his actual reason for becoming a lawyer... Oh. His mom? The reason you became a lawyer, does it have to do with your mom?
Impressive.
That's right. Ever since I was a little boy, I wanted to be just like her. If she never took up law, I probably wouldn't be here right now. He should have thought that sentence through. Last time we spoke, you may remember me saying she attracted a bit of controversy.
Right.
Because she only represented women and children. Yeah, I remember.
Well put.
During her first murder trial, the prosecution tried using that fact to undermine her and her client's legitimacy. Since most court footage is public domain, the non-confidential kind anyway, the public was able to watch this unfold live.
Huh?
Wait, so the courtroom recordings you mentioned earlier?
I'm sure.
Yes, most of them were of my mother.
In any case...
Anyway, the footage drew similar ire from other practitioners of the field, who called her conduct unlawyerly.
No matter.
However, no one could dispute her skills. Even in that original murder trial, her client was acquitted of first-degree murder on the basis of self-defense.
It's for the best.
I believe my mother is an example of what lawyers should be. Pursuers of the truth, who defend the world's most vulnerable no matter the cost. If that were the standard, most defense lawyers would be out of a job. If I can pick up where she left off, and issue in an era where the lawyer's conscience is rewarded, not punished,
Trust in the process.
then I will have achieved my purpose in life. This guy was totally out of it. An era where the lawyer's conscience is rewarded? Wouldn't that spell the end of criminal justice? Sure, his mom only represented certain clients, but there hasn't been anything to suggest she cared whether they were guilty or innocent. If she did, I definitely would have heard it by now. So why so obsessed over this delusional idea? His mom didn't just inspire him to become a lawyer, she was his sole reason. Now he wants to issue in an era where the lawyer's conscience is rewarded, not punished.